Oh, hello there. Yes, well, hooray, the weekend. Nice. Anyway, here's a thought exercise for you. Imagine, right, there's a Conservative in a room. It's been locked on the outside. No windows, no way out, just the locked door, right? Okay? And they have a porcupine, right? A set of toothpicks and a small credit card. How are they going to get out? Well, they're not, because the door's been locked from the outside. But think about this, right? Okay, it's somebody who's left the Conservative Party, but they've now paid £25 and they're a Reform member, and they're there with the same items. How are they going to get out? Well, they're still not, are they? Because nothing materially has changed, and effectively that's the way I feel about our recent elections. You can change the person, but if the material conditions are the same, then they're going to rely on people on the outside to get them out. Struck very much with that thought by our two major groups, two major people that were elected. There was the incoming new MP by 6 votes, who has quite a long history of chopping and changing parties. It's just somebody that wants to be an MP, and now they are. Hooray! I mean, I'm sure that if they tried that a different way, they could have done it through the Conservative Party, very much like those kind of careerists in the Labour Party. But what materially will change? Well, nothing. They are going to be yet another career politician, and this certainly was shown by Dame Andrea Jenkins, who is somebody who, let's face it, if you think about all her achievements in government, you don't come up with anything at all. A woman that was given her damehood simply because that's what happens to people that have made no impression on our lives whatsoever for the better for the last decade or so. Anyway, there she was. The first thing she says that she's going to put migrants in tents, and I was thinking to myself, I don't think that that's within the power of mayors to do. Good luck with that. I'd want to see it. I do want to see that happen in her area, but I have the feeling that it just won't, because she's stuck with the same material conditions that everyone else is. It's not going to change until, there's some form of collective action around that. I don't care how new and exciting and reformy she is. She's just a Conservative career politician, as we can see exactly, because, let's face it, she has no talent at all for anything, in even being a Conservative or Reform career politician. Still, prove me wrong. Yes, and if we look at the actual sort of other people that we've got out there, we end up with, great, Darren Grimes, as expected, is part of the kind of reformy landslide in that part of the world. But what's he going to do about the potholes? What's he going to do about the fact that somebody's bin hasn't been collected? He's going to have to get his hands dirty. And that isn't the reason why he's become a local councillor, is it? He's become a local councillor because he's thinking, in a year or so I can basically become a prospective parliamentary candidate in the area. That's what that is. We have a group of people who have become very, very used to basically being career politicians. Not just in Reform, not just in the Conservative Party, but across the board. There's basically the majority of the Labour Party are like that as well, and that's great. But they have no history of realistically wanting anything to change. Why would they, after all? It's their gravy train, certainly not yours. Your gravy train is stuck outside Oldham because they can't really be bothered to update the signalling system. And if we do look at the by-election votes, well, basically it was those people that were going to vote Conservative voted anyway, and I would imagine that once the actual dust has settled a bit, we'll find that one of the reasons why the Labour Party vote collapsed was, because people just didn't vote. I had my local Labour person knock on my door yesterday, only about a quarter of an hour after I'd voted, and I feel quite sorry for her because she's hamstrung with a moribund party that isn't going to make her life any easier as a local, fairly good one, local councillor, unfortunately. But simply swapping her for a Reform person will make no difference whatsoever. Certainly not in terms of potholes, and certainly not in terms of numbers of people coming here with skin colours we don't like. So you're going to need something else going on, aren't you? Now, it might be, oh, well, we'll end up with a reform government. Great. Let's have 200 Andrea Drenkins as a majority for the Reform Party. What then? Well, we'll end up with exactly the same policies that they've been pushing for the last few years, which is basically Liz Truss style national conservatism. Great stuff. Material problems. We'll all, metaphorically or otherwise, still be stuck in the room, won't we? Because it requires collective action from the outside to make those kind of things work. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, I think starting to wake up to this, and I hope they start to wake up to this, is that almost all of the solutions, the problems we face in modern Britain and across the Western world, good grief, yes, stem from issues in and around the economic system, which can only be sort of mitigated by collective action in and around, well, that dreaded S word, isn't it? Yes. Be awful, that, wouldn't it? But we'll see. But I just think it's farcical that these people like Dame Andrea are going to be on our screens every 5 minutes saying things that they can't possibly do. Great. As Nigel Farage rightly pointed out, the delivery will be everything. And they're stuck with people who couldn't hack it in the Conservative Party. Anyway, do enjoy your own superiority. Let's face it, if you're not a career politician for reform, you probably aren't winning in life. Enjoy.